I cannot think of a famous actress named Trish.
You're kidding. That's my favorite name.
What? Mine too. How have we never talked about this?
To me, a woman named Trish is a woman you can count on.
Really has her act together. Athletic, natural.
Just real natural. And loves the holidays.
Trish? At Christmas? Forget it. She gets everyone a gift.
Welcome, Tiki, to the Harbor Podcast. Tiki. We're back. It's summer booling. I'm in fucking Florida, chilling, which is apt because the film we're talking about takes place in Florida. It's called Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, which is a studio comedy.
In 2021?
Yeah.
It's fucking solid. From the guys who did Bridesmaid, it's like the team up again, Kristen Wiig and that other chick. I can't remember her name.
Annie Mumolo.
Yeah, they're back.
We got a stat cast. We got Jamie Dornan. We got Damon Wayans. We got Kristen Wiig again. We got Fortune Feimster. We got Wendy McClendon Covey. We got what's her name from The Office? Phyllis. We got
yeah.
I think what's his name? Andy Garcia shows up for a minute too.
We have talked about this on the cast. We have missed the middle budget studio comedies, and I don't know how you guys felt, but I enjoyed this film.
I did too.
And
I love this movie.
Good. Okay.
And let me introduce it because this was my pick.
Go for it, Scott.
One of the reasons I like this movie is because what you mentioned, it's not a mid-budget studio comedy, is not what we see a lot of. And a lot of it is nostalgic because it's how I discovered this movie. It's just one of those movies you catch on a flight. It was on the little screen thing. And I was like, let's put this on. I feel like having a laugh for this like 7-hour flight. And I laughed my ass off. And I love that that's one of the beautiful things about movies, when you find something tucked away in a video store in an online catalog, and it just a movie that you never really paid much attention to becomes kind of one of your favorite movies, and kind of because it exceeded your expectations. And because I can think of a lot of movies that are a little like this, but I can't think of a movie that's exactly like this.
Sure.
And one of the things I love about this movie is that it goes balls to the wall, arguably too much, but there's not too much winking at the camera. There is a little, but not in this obnoxious Marvel humor way.
Not this fucking Deadpool fucking every comedy now has to be aware that it's a ridiculous comedy, otherwise the audience won't buy it, etc.
And it's it's earnest. It's weirdly earnest in its characters, and let's start there. Let's start with the characters.
Because you actually give a shit about the characters. They're not just one-note jokes.
Yeah, they aren't. And that's what I was going to say. They very easily could be, because the protagonists are two middle-aged Nebraskan spinsters, okay? Divorced. And
one's divorced, the other one's dead.
Yeah. And coming from Hollywood, you could easily condescend, make fun of that. But I don't know, I can ask you guys, do you guys feel like the main characters, they were the butt of the joke?
No, absolutely. No. I don't think they're a butt of the joke. I think they were I don't know. Kristen Wiig is really good at those types of characters.
Yes.
I was a big SNL fan back when she was on, and she nails that shit quite a bit.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like just an SNL joke, thankfully. It's like
the older, it reminds me more so of like the characters that can spin off and make their own movies, like Wayne's World and shit like that. Like,
they seem like sketch characters, but fleshed out enough.
Yeah.
Because a lot of sketch characters, by the nature of sketch, you have so much short time to communicate character. It has to be over the top. It has to be kind of not in depth. You don't have much time as a sketch, and that's really not the goal. Sketch is not vying to be high art most of the time. Maybe if you're Bob and David on HBO, but which is my favorite sketch show, by the way. But
formative.
there's a way it is formative, and I didn't see it till later, but it's very influential. Anyway, so and that's the thing. I mean, SNL specifically, and we could sit here and crap on and say it wasn't as good as it was, blah blah. Was it ever good?
Well, I've never liked it, so.
And it has the sketches that are hits, and then the rest, and that's also sketch. I watched more Mad TV growing up, I think, than I watched SNL.
I do love Mad TV too, man.
Just because it was on earlier on Saturday night, I was playing.
I'm an SNL slut. I love that shit.
Really? I didn't know that about you.
I know a lot. It's one of those things that I have like a stupid amount of knowledge on that's never going to be important, except for like SNL Trivial Pursuit.
That's fine. Well, that's what this
That's the thing about, and also with sketch, ish kind of movies, comedies like that, just because what I'm saying is you're a little more lenient when certain jokes don't completely land because everything else has been decently solid and they're imaginative ideas. Like there's a couple jokes I don't care for in the movie, but the rest I was very humored by.
Yeah. What jokes do you not care for?
The main one I didn't care for was the Morgan Freeman crab. I was just like, yeah,
that was dumb.
That felt like a dumb, YouTube
and
video.
It was
random, a little so random.
It was a little so random, and Morgan Freeman is an overdone joke at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
With not his fault. I mean, no offense to him.
There's a better cameo in it with Reba fucking McEntire.
Oh yeah.
I lost it so hard when she popped up, dude.
Yeah. It's a pure Deus Ex Machina. There's a few Deus Ex Machinas in the end, but
I'm happy with that. That's how I like those comedies, dude. I like that it's completely absurd. The whole concept of this whole fucking movie. It's not just them going and having a good time in fucking Vista Del Mar. It's a spy thriller. Like, what the fuck?
5 minutes.
I mean, because that's one of the things. Yeah, within 5 minutes. Because this movie, it's a benefit. I think if you watch this movie, it's a benefit. And if you haven't watched this movie, don't watch this podcast until you have. But it's we already told you too much. But the thing is, it's immediate. One of the weaknesses of this movie, I don't think this movie did very well, and it might have been straight to streaming because the only box office.
It was gonna be in theaters, but it kept having trailers, and then the pandemic hit and all this stuff, and the trailers went on. Here's the problem: is that the studio did not know how to market the movie at all.
They did not.
That's watch the trailers. You're just like, what the fuck is this? I can interpret that. Oh, it's Kristen Wiig doing some quirky thing, but like, I have no idea what this is about.
Quirky Girls Rejoice, Kristen Wiig is back.
I think because the studio was scared, people didn't want to see a wacky comedy because these days we've been overrun by grounded comedies, way too grounded. And
what's way too grounded? Give me some examples.
Okay, everything now for comedy wise, studio, it has to be either a dramedy or an action comedy. You know what I mean? And like usually they're not wacky like this, like over the top, not grounded in reality.
The only other one I can think of is another one that was released directly onto Hulu, and it was Vacation Friends with John Cena, and I actually enjoyed the shit out of that movie. I need to go back to this formula of like wacky.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. Studio comedies we had Game Night.
That's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, you guys said, Adrian, you said you liked it.
Pretty decent. I liked it.
And then what? There was like prom
cock
night
blockers.
Cock blockers.
Yeah.
I
like cock blockers too.
Yeah, but you
just love John Cena.
It was okay.
I really do have a hard on for John Cena in comedy.
He's a good guy.
You're a wrestling fan though. You're supposed to hate him.
I am, and he's like the best actor that's come out of wrestling besides Batista. And it's like, what else did we? There was another one I was just thinking of too that I completely forgot. Well, it's like we come from like last year, all the movies that came like Don't Look Up, where now you have to think about how everyone's gonna die, and Licorice Pizza, where you have to think about pedophiles and.
And I wouldn't call Licorice Pizza. That's just Paul Thomas Anderson being him, and Don't Look Up is Adam McKay being city
Hyper
little-
Adam McKay.
but
Fucking.
yeah, being
But
not reined in at all.
5
And
minutes.
this
into the
movie wasn't reined in at all either.
Yeah,
but in a
5 minutes
good
into the
way.
movie, it reminded me how much I missed like the Austin Powers kind of comedies.
Dude, like Pineapple Express, the first 5 minutes of that, they're the CIA talking about weed. And like this is like got the Asian kid on the bike singing fucking songs, and then he's a super like badass spy.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so
Did that immediately throw you into it? Because
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he got scanned by the tree, I was like, okay, I'm in.
fucking sold.
immediately, you're like, I see this movie. It's gonna be one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And then the villain. Okay, I'm embarrassed to admit this. The villain, Sharon Gordon Fisherman, who is basically albino, hyper albino, is the sun is her enemy. I watched this movie twice all the way through and did not realize until after the second viewing that it was also Kristen Wiig.
No, that's what made
funny.
me even more think
Into
about
it.
Austin Powers shit.
Yeah,
It's a little too similar in that area, but it's acceptable.
I'm okay with it. I even like that her motive's kind of stupid too. Like her friend gets eaten by an alligator and she becomes a shrimp queen, and that's why she has it out. And then like her weapon of mass destruction is just mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
That's so fucking cool.
The plan doesn't really make any sense either, but who cares?
I love that.
But also, even though there's this crazy evil supervillain thing going on, there's still a majority of the movie where it's still those two characters on a vacation, and comedy comes from that.
Oh,
And-
those are two of the better written characters I've seen Kristen Wiig play in a long time. I really enjoy Barb and Star.
Because it's a movie about grief and pain at the end and friendship. That's what it is, and community. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Like the like sub villain Jamie Dornan just wants to be an official couple.
Yeah, he just wants to be official, and the villainess is just leading him on.
Literally has a book like How to Manipulate a Man by Faking Love or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think it's by the same author as a book he reads, which is like how to get somebody to love you even if they don't love.
The stupid gags like that, I live for shit like that.
I love it.
I genuinely do. And it looks like they had a lot of fun making this movie. There's a lot of like wacky scenes of them just like at the end in the credits where they show like the behind the scenes stuff. It just looked like it was a lot of fun for them to make, and they had a lot, put a lot of heart into it. And I don't know, man. Barb and Star remind me of so many of the fucking moms I grew up with.
Well, and that's the thing. We're from Middle America, and you do meet a lot of moms. You meet a lot of Karens. Apologies if your name is Karen, but you do meet a lot of genuinely nice middle-aged moms who are just, you go over to your friend's house, and they're like, "Hey, Scott, you hungry? How's it going?"
And they're almost in their own little world.
And they are absolutely in their own.
Well, it's like at the beginning, they set up those characters so well because they didn't want to sell the couch. They were sitting on at work to talk.
Yeah, at the IKEA, basically.
That's one of my favorite bits,
Like,
actually.
I love
The
these
whole movie.
characters.
It's a really funny bit to me.
Yeah.
And, the fact that like they have nothing better to do, so they just sit at work and talk to each other.
And
even
they
if
come
they're
in on their
not in
days
that
off
phase.
if the other person's working.
Yeah.
And they live together.
Yeah, yeah. They have
And
the
it's
fucking.
not even.
They have the
there's
I
not
Love
even-
Lucy beds.
Yeah, there's not even really lesbian overtones. Like
No.
you could argue that, but it's
Oh,
I
they're
don't think so.
it's not really. Not
good lady friends.
they're lady friends. I don't know. And
I
all of
liked
that.
when they took ecstasy. I thought that was a funny ass scene where they're like, "Where's the treasure?" And like, "Did you get all the way to the bottom and open up the toy chest?" And they're like, "Yeah." "Did you eat the 3 pills?" "Yeah." And then it just like zooms out, and their booth moves.
Yeah,
So
Well, that's the
follows them to
thing.
dance
There's
floor.
some
that.
good set pieces in this that are restrained enough, I think, in terms of budget.
Still
But the
very
fact, and I
studio,
don't,
but
I don't know if they had a green screen or anything, but the fact that they got this like table on wheels and were wheeling it around with a camera dolly attached, to give
simple
you
but
this weird,
effective.
weird point of view. Yeah, simple but effective. You could have done that special effect in the 30s, to some degree. Which is again a refresher from any of these sort of mockumentary style comedies, or a lot of comedies that are just very dialogue heavy or just physical comedy heavy, but a lot of it's just over the shoulder shot. Vibrant color palettes at all times.
I love it.
Like Alvin's Island.
Yeah, purposely garish,
Yeah. And I also love the whole movie. Almost it's an in joke in they have to we have to get out. We have to have an adventure. And they go to a tourist spot in Florida because if you're from middle America, to you, that's like, wow, we can go to the panhandle. And
the whole time they just want to ride the banana boat together.
Right. Exactly. Which is,
that.
And I like going to Florida and doing stuff, looking at seashells and stuff. I'm not dogging on that. My family does that, almost every year. But
if y'all are watching this podcast, I'm in Florida right now.
Yeah, exactly. But
I liked that they had musical numbers in this.
Yeah, very randomly and intelligent.
I love the musical numbers, dude. You can put a musical number in most films and I'm going to enjoy it.
And even the stuff they said in the musical number was stuff like that was supposed to be selling this vacation spot. It was, there's ice in the drinks, there's chlorine in the pool. Some of this stuff.
Just basic shit.
I think it's against health code to not have chlorine.
Also, there's a lot of little minute setups for different scenes and even plot devices, different stuff. Like even just them making the sand art, he uses that later to knock out the chick in the hotel room and stuff. Just little things here and there that
there's clever little Chekhov's
it's more
gun.
than a joke. It actually serves a purpose and it adds just some weight to it, makes it even funnier.
And makes it a little more spy feeling of almost like a Raymond Chandler story or something and then this thing that was in this scene all of a sudden is of importance. It's kind of a classic almost everything.
Oh, you're cutting out.
Yeah, it happens.
No, you're good. It came back, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I do wonder about the background of the filmmakers. It was pretty much written by Wig and Mumolo. And I guess
it definitely felt like that for sure. It feels like the first. I don't know how many other movies they've done together besides Bridesmaids, but it had the similar fucking vibe to it for sure.
Well, it's also Wig and comedians like that, Will Ferrell, other people. They always make room for just where they just film a bunch of improvisational dialogue and see what works and what doesn't, and then they just cut it together. And you can tell.
But here's the thing. It doesn't feel like it's done in a way that like Paul Feig of Bridesmaids, and this is the big criticism that I have of Ghostbusters 2016. Not that it's women. Don't care about that. And it's an unnecessary movie, but that's
I do.
But it's like a lot of the times, or even in certain Apatow productions, even like Talladega Nights, which is a movie I really, really love. Some of the improv jokes, they do cut the flow of the scene.
Yeah.
They don't go. I feel like more of the jokes are scripted in this in a good way.
In the first third, I'd say it's heavier on improv, but it works because this is the kind of nonsense these kind of ladies would talk about.
Right.
It makes sense for their characters. So it didn't bother me like it does in some other movies, especially some where just like you said, it really does ruin the flow in certain scenes. Save that shit for the blooper reel. I get you want to flex your your improv muscles, but I'll tell you what though, the funniest we used to watch that blooper from Eastbound and Down all the time with Will Ferrell, dude. That is one of the funniest improv moments I've ever seen.
That dude's a master of
down the plums, dude.
It almost, I don't know. It almost makes you want to do improv, but then you have to hang out with improv people.
Then you have to be like,
the thing about improv is the top 10% is really good.
Yeah.
And the bottom 90% is unbearable. And there's no in between.
You guys would be sitting at dinner and they'd be like, all right, guys, give me a word. And you'd be like, I'm not fucking doing this, dude. I'm trying to eat this fucking food and go home.
One of the funniest scenes is in Freaks and Geeks where they're trying to talk about drunk driving and they're doing like an improv bit on stage for like the middle schoolers, and it's about like dying in like a car crash. That is one of the funniest scenes in any comedy.
And that's Paul Feig, right? Yeah.
That's Judd Apatow.
Oh, is Judd Apatow in Freaks and Geeks? Oh, well,
Close enough.
close enough. I kind of get them confused.
I like this movie better than Bridesmaids, so
yeah, I do too. I like Bridesmaids.
That's fine. I'd have to get
Bridesmaids came out at the kind of the tail end of the studio comedy era, 2011. Yeah. This is 10 whole years later.
Yeah,
I almost feel like it's them. I think it's the writers also kind of dealing with their middle age now, and even dealing with, I don't know. This is a stretch. Maybe it's them dealing with the studio system having less use for them as they age. And really, how many for women 40 to 50? You know, it's gotten a little better, but how many roles do you get once you hit 40?
You guys are gonna hate me for referencing this. There's an Amy Schumer sketch. It's the only good one I can fucking think of from that show. And it's where she goes to a picnic where she eats with a bunch of unfuckable actresses because they have now aged out and they're in their late 30s and 40s. They're no longer fuckable, so they no longer get roles. And it's got like Courtney Cox and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Amy Schumer and all that. And that's kind of where you're going at is reminding me of that.
Well, it's a true thing, and it's a real because like
who'd she steal that from?
If you have to get old enough, you can get a grandma character, I guess. But what do you do 40 to 60?
Well, it's different now. The game has changed. I think they're playing off of that because people in their 40s and 50s, it's not like it was years ago. Now people are doing action movies in their 50s more often. And
well, that's because hair plugs technology has gotten better and stuff. Yeah, I'm not even, but seriously,
you still can't make Tom Cruise 6 foot though.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Being 45 now is like being 35 in the 90s, I feel like.
No, I think a lot if you take care of yourself.
Like me.
With beauty. That's the funniest joke of this podcast. Is my back hurts as we speak, so it's okay. I'm having to hunch over to get to this. God, I got a desk job again. Now my back's all like, but yeah, it is something I do think people age better, you know, in general. Also we figured out smoking was bad for you. That's another one.
And everybody's, you know, eating all the aborted fetuses and
dude, getting those stem cells,
getting adrenochrome.
Yeah, adrenochrome, baby. I fucking shoot that shit up.
I don't even know
why I look so good on the fucking beach. But
except you need a fucking tan, my guy.
Adrenochrome. Well, this is Parker's white ass lighting. It's like shining down on me.
I thought you were in Florida.
Yeah, I am.
You brought that lighting with you?
Yeah. Adrian is far more Mediterranean than you and I, Casher.
What I'm saying is, what was I saying? It just, it's getting easier to, it's getting better in the industry to have older actors be the main leads. Also, adrenochrome is, according to the alt-right and QAnon, is the like baby blood shit that like evil liberals like Hillary Clinton suck out like vampires of like little babies and shit.
Have you seen Sandra Bullock?
And that it like makes them stay younger longer, and that's what they're actually like, you know, ancient beings or some shit. Who knows? And so that's why like that's why children are going missing and stuff being sold, and it's the liberals trying to stay young and
we
beautiful.
Should start the next.
Is Hillary Clinton their idea of a young looking woman?
No,
probably.
I'm just saying
we should start the next.
She's 196 years old, Scott.
We should start the next pizza
radical movement and call it Aranon.
Good one. Anyway.
Oh, because it's the letter after. Okay, I got it.
I mean, it could stand for something else.
I thought, we're not going there.
There's also a lot of quips in this movie. Getting back to that, that really come out on a second
You say
viewing.
quip? Quip starts with Q.
Quip.
Me cutting your neck open starts with Q.
Ooh.
But there's a lot of quips in this movie that really on a second viewing, it's stuff that you kind of get the first time, but you pay attention more on a second viewing because the absurdity is so in your face. Some of the finer details you miss, like just when they get to the ocean and one of them goes, "Oh, it smells like Red Lobster," because that's the only frame of reference that they have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you have people who, a large part of America, who thinks Red Lobster is fine dining. And, you know, I'm all about them cheddar biscuits, but it's
Dude, that's the only redeemable thing.
yeah,
Do
exactly.
you guys think you would eat the hot dog soup that they made for the fucking...
Yeah,
Probably.
I would.
Yeah.
That's also one of the
all
funniest
three of
things
us
in the
have been
movie.
broke at various points in our lives, and I've basically made. I mean, I did in college. Ramens with cut up hot dogs was a go-to dinner for me. That was-
I ate so much ramen when I was 19 that I can't eat it anymore.
I can't
I can
either,
eat
dude.
I can eat authentic ramen, good ramen. I'm talking about the 20-cent shit.
the top ramen.
Yeah, I can't
If
do
I'm
that
paying
anymore.
$1.50 for a pack, that's the kind I can eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it's like anything other than 30-cent, 20-cent ramen, I can eat it. Fuck. But
I used to get ridiculously stoned and eat raw ramen with the packet powder all over it. I also made spaghetti once with it, and that was really gross.
I used to when I didn't have anything else,
I think we
and like I was out of bread, I would just get ramen and put peanut butter on it for protein.
Dude, that's
And just dry peanut
what
butter
the fuck?
and eat it almost like a piece of toast.
No, sir.
Yeah, when I would come over to your apartment, you would have bread, ham, cheese, and ramen and hot dogs.
Yeah, that's what I ate in college.
That was the
And peanut butter.
fucking life. And then we would get fucking Little Caesars, of course, you know.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, dude. Back then I would eat like 6-day-old Little Caesars pizzas, hard as a rock, try to rehydrate it in the microwave with water.
Yeah. Of course. You're just desperate for nutrition of any kind. And you didn't have you and also you're too, I don't know, I was too stupid to cook like properly. I would just be like, scramble some eggs, maybe. I don't know. Like I'm like a recipe though. Whoa, hold on. I have to use the oven, bake something. What?
I think one of my favorite jokes in this movie is the Trisha joke, of course, when they're on the plane and they completely create a life for a woman named Trisha.
Trish.
And then at the end, again, it's Reba McEntire is Trisha, the water spirit of Vista Del Mar.
It's just a complete.
Yeah, that's a good callback, yeah.
And I always wonder, do they, and I can imagine them sitting around and pitching these ideas and laughing. Do they write the ending first of a mermaid and then go back in the script and plant it? Or do they write the Trish joke first sequentially?
I think that Trish joke has been rumbling around in their heads for a long time, and they wrote.
I think especially with the casting of Reba McEntire too, is that
I think that was an integral joke that they wanted to include from the beginning. It just it might come off more improv-y, but I don't think it was. I think the entire scene was formed around that joke.
Right, it was. No, absolutely.
But
of them, I've flown to Florida, by the way, out of Kentucky, and to Destin, and it was a weird thing where all the Kentuckians, when we landed, everyone clapped when we like
some boomer shit, dude.
It's a boomer thing, and what's weird is you kind of get caught up in it, and I start to go, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not clapping because we landed.
I'm not 65 years old.
I'd only
and also, by the way, I'm not clapping for you doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, I'm not clapping for not killing me. Okay,
yeah, I'd clap if we were about to crash land and we actually survived. Maybe
if you're Captain Phillips, I'll clap for you, and you land on the Hudson.
I am the captain.
And then I'd breathalyze you.
Right. No, but, wrong. No, Captain Phillips is Sully. I'm getting my Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
What's it called? I liked Jamie Dornan surprised the shit out of me with how his comedic timing and everything.
I think he's really trying to break out of 50 Shades of Grey because that's what he's known for. Because I also saw him on a plane movie, not as good, Belfast, despite it being Oscar nominated. Not a bad movie.
Really good.
I found it Belfast more interesting as I wouldn't want to do a whole cast over it, but I found it more interesting as a historical artifact and a history lesson than as a movie, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Just cause, and it's still weird because the whole like hating each other because you're Catholic or Protestant. I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's both Jesus. Like, what do you?
Like a Family Guy joke. It seriously feels like a Family Guy joke if they still do that.
Yeah, no, but it was a really big deal.
Protestants.
It's a really big deal, which doesn't know. It's like a Simpsons joke where they have like Catholic heaven and Protestant heaven, but it's I don't. The entire troubles in Northern Ireland, and I'm sorry, Ireland, or Northern Ireland, whatever. I don't know. Our Civil War was about slavery, all right? It was a bigger deal. Yeah, but I think this movie's weirdly sex positive too.
Sure.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. All the fucking it's like enlightening or not enlightening, but it's like an awakening for a middle-aged 40-year-old woman who hasn't had sex in years.
Yeah, because they get down.
Like, and Jamie Dornan's character is just like, holy shit. Yeah, you know how to fuck, basically.
Yeah, but Jamie Dornan's in Belfast is the dad in a serious role. That was the point of that.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamie Dornan. Also, I think it's I wonder if the ladies like wanted to cast Jamie Dornan because they're like, who can we be in our underwear pressed up against for this movie? And they're like, all right, Jamie Dornan, let's add him, Matthew McConaughey. Like they went down the list of like ab guys. But he does. I wonder if he has any like comedy background or comedy training.
That's what I'm looking up right now. I've heard like this is like one of the first comedic performances he's done, is what I'm assuming.
I think you get typecast if you're good looking. I hear this about Brad Pitt a lot, how he's branched out as he's aged, because he's actually really good as a character actor. He just has such leading man looks. He was not forced. He made $1 bajillion off of it, but you get forced in these leading man roles or these like rom-com roles or whatever, if you're good looking. Versus, I think Brad Pitt, he played the weatherman on Jim Jeffries' new show for like guild minimum just because he wanted to and was a fan of the show, as a joke.
That's cool.
I think, I'm just saying I think a lot of actors would love playing around because it's one of the reasons you become an actor is you want to play in different people's skins. But if you're good looking, it works for you professionally. But then again,
definitely his first comedic role besides Trolls World Tour.
Yeah.
So
why did they put the 50 Shades of Grey guy in a movie my niece watches?
I don't know, but he did really well. I really enjoyed his song that he had in it. For one, that shit's a bop. That shit was really good. And two, it was fucking entertaining. It looked like he had a lot of fun making that.
He did. Yeah. I also read in the trivia that it wasn't scripted that he ripped his shirt off, but he felt like he had to.
Yeah.
It wasn't a rip away shirt. That's why he's like
struggling with it.
Because it's a real shirt. He's trying to rip.
What a fucking champ.
And probably a nice shirt too. Like
it's
not a
just
Walmart
a
shirt.
Shame that if it would have been released at a different time and maybe with different marketing, it could have been a hit.
Yeah.
I feel like not enough people have seen it because it was marketed so poorly. Also, COVID time for movies is strange, et cetera, et cetera.
And this was early COVID when now toward the end, I think people were kind of getting used to how to market their movies in COVID. At the beginning, people were like, what the hell do we do with these movies that we're sitting on? You had stuff like James Bond where bioterrorism was part of the plot, and you were like, "We got to sit on this because we can't."
Yeah,
it's like this is not good.
And how to distribute it too? Because there was that point where Disney was trying to charge like $30 a month for their premium, and gave you from they do the theater and also immediately released it on.
They
streaming.
Fucking stopped that shit.
Yeah, they stopped that shit real quick.
No, because if you're gonna charge me $30, I better own it. And preferably a physical copy.
Yeah,
you better own it. You better
that better be part of my permanent library for $30.
Yeah, it's like I get it. You have like 2 or 3 kids, you and your wife. It'd be like going to the movies,
right?
Cheaper. But yeah, you should keep it.
Yeah, I guess Cash and I are coming at this from like single man perspectives, where it's 30 just for us.
Yeah, no, I
legitimately I forget that people have children sometimes, and that a lot of the world is.
I get it. Also, people nothing was open when they were doing that, so I get that angle. but also
it's like,
I mean, it
my
changed
kid
pretty
is going
quickly.
insane. They have to watch Mulan now.
Well, they changed that shit up pretty quickly, thankfully. Like that's where I watched Black Widow, and that's where I watched fucking the
No, I went to see that in
2021 hit,
theaters.
Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love Jungle Cruise. I don't care.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I have to watch it because it's based off of a Disney
It's
attraction.
highly entertaining, stupid bullshit with The Rock.
Dude, if I made a movie out of the Disney World bathrooms, you would watch it, Adrian.
Scott, I healed my inner child by going to Disney World, and I will be there on Wednesday again. So
Adrian is a Disney adult now, guys.
I am. But
you're
you're
a Disney adult.
here's the thing.
Fucking awful.
Here's the thing. When that new Haunted Mansion movie comes out in March, I want to do a cast. You don't have to be a part of it, I guess, since you're so cynical. But where we talk about all the movies based off of Disney attractions.
Like we have to watch the Country Bears.
Country Bears, which I haven't watched in 20 years.
That's a guilty fucking pleasure.
I've never seen it.
We'll talk about Haunted Mansion, obviously Pirates of the Caribbean, and Tomorrowland. Anything else?
I don't know.
You would know. I don't know.
I think and Jungle
Star
Cruise.
Wars. That's based off a Disney attraction.
Jungle Cruise. So yeah, I'm gonna look forward to that later next year, folks. If we're still alive.
Can I just go before we wrap this up, because I feel like we're getting to the end of it unless you guys got more to talk about.
Oh well, I do need to stop the podcast for a second and thank our sponsor, the Deep State. So
please make sure look for the next message from R. You'll be able to find it on
R and R
on 24chan.
Good one. Anyway, what do you want to say, Scott?
I just want to say I really appreciate that the pianist's name is Richard Cheese.
It is Richard Cheese. I meant to bring that up. I forgot.
He was in this movie.
That's so fucking funny. I immediately when I saw that, I was like,
is he in other things?
Yeah, he's a famous guy.
Oh, Richard Cheese is?
Yeah, fucking Casher's Frozen, but Richard Cheese is an actual artist who makes comedy music.
Oh.
And he did the Disturbed cover back in the 2000s. All right, Casher's back. And they use his song in that fucking Zack Snyder movie. And
Wake Up, Come On, Get Down with the Sickness.
Yeah.
Oh, he does that.
And
he's in other shit. Yeah, he's been in a few comedy movies. So it was good to see him not in just one scene, but like 3 scenes.
Yeah, Dick Cheese is a recurring character. Dick Cheese, the pianist.
Yeah,
writes itself.
That was really nice to see.
It's blowing my mind that you didn't know who this was before this movie.
Yeah,
because it kind of sounds right familiar. Maybe I don't know.
It's right up your fucking.
I remember,
alley.
Casher showing me Richard Cheese in fucking 9th grade.
It's weird. It's weird.
Like Tenacious D.
Music. Yeah. Whenever a musical comedian shows up at an open mic, I'm like, here we fucking go. But I think it's like improv. I hate the lower levels of it, but I love the higher levels.
Sure, I get that.
Richard Cheese is iconic, though, man. He's been in so much cool shit.
Is he as iconic as Tommy Bahama?
Zack Snyder used him again in Army of the Dead last year.
Yeah, he did.
Happy to see that.
Which I liked more than the Snyder cut.
Fucking Tommy Bahama. That was funny. That was a funny joke.
That was fuck those shirts. They're too expensive, but that was funny.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that she would end up with him and her with Ed.
She should have ran off with that guy.
Yeah. Because she goes off the deep end and like starts smoking pot and doing drum circles with a bunch of fucking Florida hippies.
That's fun. The obvious green screen when she's parasailing hitting the joint was really funny.
That would be terrifying.
Fuck that. I saw a video yesterday. My brother and I were watching Fail Army because he had never watched that before. I was like, I haven't watched this in a long time. And so we put that on. And there's a video of a guy who I guess was parasailing or something, but he had gotten disattached from the boat and he was like flying. There was like a storm coming in, like raining. He's like flying over this dude's like skyscraper apartment. So fucked up, dude.
I'll never parasail because of Jurassic Park 3.
I never saw that one.
Oh, you don't want to get
eaten by fucking pterodons, dude. Fuck that.
I never watched Jurassic World 2 or 3. Or Jurassic Park 2 or 3 rather.
You haven't seen The Lost World or
No.
3? What the fuck? Way
Yeah.
better than Jurassic
I was
World.
never
I
into
love 'em.
Jurassic Park.
I fucking love the first 3 Jurassic Park. I don't give a shit.
Really?
The first one's
Yeah.
okay. It's good. It's not great. And then everything else is just mindless, stupid entertainment.
Yeah, you have to contextualize the first one, which I know you can, but
Sure. I just think among Spielberg, it's probably like a C tier for me.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's not my favorite Spielberg.
Mm-mm.
It's not my
But
top.
I respect other
Mhm.
people that
Wrong.
fucking think
I don't
it's
respect
shit. That's
either of
fine.
you now.
I mean, I realize that Jaws is one of the most influential films of all time, but it's not a movie I love. I
Yeah,
appreciate
same.
it. I like
I
it.
rewatch Jurassic Park at least twice a fucking year, dude. I've seen that movie a billion
Here's
fucking
my problem with Jaws. I like Jaws. I don't love it, but I like all the beach fucking terrorizing children and eating people shit. And when they get onto the boat to go fight it halfway through, that's when I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I like all the boat stuff.
Man, can I just say we need more fucking animal attack movies in Hollywood right now?
We're getting that new one with
The Cocaine Bear.
Idris Elba.
we got the Cocaine Bear and Idris Elba. I hope that sparks a trend because
Of
I want
animals?
as much mindless fucking animal like fights.
Just like Anaconda and Congo.
Yeah, I don't know why I have such a fucking profound love for
Is
shit.
it because
like
you
that.
look like a fucking gorilla?
Good one.
I'll talk to you guys later. No, I don't know what it is. I just
No, dude,
the
fucking animal
mindless thought
attacks
of, like,
rule.
because it's like I was watching a bunch of animal like videos today while I was at work, and I was watching like fucking lions stalking and murdering fucking animals. I'm like, lions are scary. Just
Ooh,
a
yeah.
lion.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
a lion is scary. I want fucking stuff like that, dude. Remember that movie? There's a movie that came out.
Masala. Anyway,
There was a movie that came out years ago that got a lot of fucking like drama about it. That
Tiger King.
no, it's from like 70s or 80s or something. But like people were getting injured because of like the big cat use on there because it was about big cats that they had to fight and they were actually getting like injured and maimed by these fucking
Yeah,
beasts.
that's why, dude. If you go to a lion sanctuary and you get eaten, that's natural selection, man. Fuck you. Like I would never do. Like no. You know what? You want to know an animal fact about a movie I love? They killed like 20 puppies filming Snow Dogs because they kept fucking up. Because
that's
it's like
fucking insane.
they're
Dude.
Snow Buddies. Snow Buddies, that movie.
There's
Jesus
Like
Christ.
20 different puppies died because the production was so fucked.
That's
what the
fucked up.
fuck, dude?
I didn't know that.
I thought you were gonna talk about Cannibal Holocaust or something.
Like killing turtles for fun.
They killed more animals in Snow Buddies than in Cannibal Holocaust.
Mark.
Anything else for this movie before my bronchitis kills me?
Yeah. I don't know. No.
Go see it.
I almost had a bit and I didn't. I'm a failure. I'm not a comedian like
You're a
you,
failure.
Scott. Sorry.
I'm not. I haven't been on stage in like fucking 3+ weeks. I've been in America less than a month. It's weird. It feels like so much.
Oh
longer.
yeah, it does feel like it's been longer.
It's just because I went straight. I didn't have to job hunt, so I just went straight back into living at my parents. But whoa,
LIVIN, man. That's a
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
reference to Dazed and Confused, another summer Adrian Kino, whatever my name is, classic or
yeah, watch that cast. That's
series.
great.
Yeah, watch that cast. That was a banger. That was a good
And we'll
one.
see you next time.
Yeah, next time.
What are we doing next
on
time,
the
guys?
harbor.
Yeah, what is next time?
Kids.
Yeah, maybe.
Watch a bunch of teenagers do drugs.
Yeah, which you can find a reference to in the acclaimed 2017 film Moon Man. Thanks for watching, everybody.